89.3 2GLF.
You are now listening to Three Quirks and a Turk at 89.3 FM.
This is my station.
Action.
It's just insane and I love it.
Entertainment.
Hey guys, it's Selena Gomez.
Hey, this is Ed Sheeran.
Hey guys, it's Taylor Swift.
Entrepreneurs.
You need to learn this business, and this is the time to do it.
And empowerment.
Become an insider. So you have to know the rules before you get in the game.
It's Friday.
I can't believe that it's Freaky Friday.
YB Moody, shake that booty and tune in to the voice of the continent.
Yeah, 89.3 2GF. It's definitely Friday. YB Moody, right, guys? And, it's about time to put everything aside. Join us in our conversation. And, Darren, how you been?
I've been very well, Davy.
Amazed. The week has been fabulous. It's Friday, is that right?
That's right, Friday. YB Moody. We've got a coffee.
Yes, well, it's
Weekend's here.
weekend. So, what's your plan this weekend, by the way?
So this weekend, I think I'm just going to catch up on a bit of homework.
Homework.
A bit boring, I know.
Oh my
But,
gosh.
when you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, that's all you do. You work.
That's it. Work and no play, right? Anne's out there zooming in and out somewhere in the eastern suburbs. She's sending us four segment to talk about this week. But unfortunately, the way she recorded the segment is not opening up, Anne. So our apologies for that. But we'll try our best and see what happened. But it's interesting. One of the guests that she was interviewing a few weeks ago with I was an Indian movie star called Sandeep. Now, Anne was involved in the interview with this gentleman. He's also a producer, an actor, and also a director. Right. And we had a really good conversation with him. As you would know, that within our segment here, we love to support the creative industry, whether it be in the local area, whether it be in New South Wales, in this case, it's in India, and we all know that Bollywood is actually quite bigger than Hollywood. So, it was interesting to talk to this producer about the movie that has been involved and the next project that he's going to produce. And again, it looks like it'll be another Bollywood buster.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. So have you actually watched any of these Hollywood movies at all, mate, over the years?
The Bollywood movies?
Yeah.
I've seen a few, and some of them actually I love, but not so much I haven't watched enough of the Bollywood films.
Yeah.
But I love all the Americanized version of the Bollywood style with Indian and Pakistani directors like Mira Nair.
Yes.
And some of the great stories that they tell about the culture. It's fascinating.
I think a few years ago there was a movie produced by one of the Hollywood stars, was the Slumdog Millionaire.
Brilliant.
And I think that's what really put Indian movie and directors onto the world map, because from a small budget production like that. But then you're looking at in terms of the population, right? India actually has more population than us, so therefore, if they do produce a movie, it doesn't take much or take long for it to produce and people coming to watch that, right?
Yeah.
So it's amazing. But also we're talking about how digital these days has changed that segment. And you just showed me a perfect example of what ChatGPT can do now. Yep. I'm thinking, that's bloody ridiculous, mate. So what's going to happen in the future when there be no directors, no producers, and script writers? So in a way, I personally don't like all this AI technology bullshit, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of unemployment people out there, mate.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Like in the last year or two, Hollywood went on strike.
Yeah.
All the movie industry, the actors, the directors, the writers, all went on strike.
That's right.
Because of AI.
Correct.
They said all the movie houses wanted to start using their voices and their faces and whatever else without permission and without paying them.
Yes.
So they all went crazy, and they must have found an equilibrium, and now they're back to work.
Good.
But this is a problem.
Well, it's going to be another big problem, because now that we're talking about, they're going back to it now. The other week I read somewhere where now Elon Musk and Microsoft are teaming up to invent another super AI technology computer. With this computer, I mean, like, it's just going to be like the brain of everything else they're going to do. So eventually we don't even need to work no more. We can just sit at home and don't use a brain, mate. I mean, what's the world turning to?
Absolutely.
So in terms of being the content producer yourself, you find this as a challenge, or you find this as a way to maybe enhance the business?
I find it's got two sides. Because on the one side, it's an incredibly powerful and amazing time,
right,
because of the technology and what we can do to use technology to help us. So instead of having to hire videographers, directors, script writers, copywriters, you can now get a piece of equipment or a tool, a software tool for $20 a month.
Yeah.
And it will do all your work for you. So you can save a lot of money. But at the same time, you have to keep up with this stuff. And that's
right.
exhausting.
From what you're just telling me, Darren, that looks like 300 people unemployed already.
Yep, that's right.
From your investment, $20, you have just put 200 people unemployed.
That's right. But at the same time, the interesting thing is because of the birth of the new way of working and these new tools, other jobs will be created. Such as, for example, there's something in AI called prompt engineering.
Right.
So if you're using things like ChatGPT or, there's a million other type of tools like it, it's all about how you tell the machine to do what you want it to do.
Okay.
And that's what they call a prompt engineer. And
Yes.
there are people making $200,000, $300,000 a year because they're experts at prompt engineering. So
Okay.
there's a whole new industry in itself.
Yes.
So it just swings in roundabouts.
But then you're looking at prompt engineering. How many prompt engineering out there around the world that's gonna have a job? And then compare that to hundreds of millions of other people around the world that's not prompt engineers. What are they gonna do?
True, but then something else might come up because of the tools and how they're delivered and whatever else.
This is the debate I always hear from people who support AI. Yeah, but we need to retrain ourselves, right? To get a new skill. There would always be something. That's right. But then let's talk about it this way. At the moment, I know for a fact that Border Force has got robots, right? Yeah. They're training robots. You're looking at a new airport out here at the moment. And then you look at Amazon, they've got 200,000 robots in the Amazon warehouse. So how is that retraining people? If anything, your robots are trained to do our job, but then the humans, then what are they going to do?
Yeah, and you're right in a way, because even if you get a small team of people that are there to assess the job of the robot or how to make it more efficient, whatever, it's still minimal in comparison to how many robots there are.
Correct.
So I don't know what the answer is, but all I can say is I love the technology, but and I remember a movie back in the day. It was called Transcendence with Johnny Depp.
You're right. What's that about? What movie was that about?
It was a movie about AI taking over the world. Yeah. And in the end, he was the only human left.
It's nice.
And AI took over the world.
Whoa.
And so, who knows? That's the problem these days.
You look at some of the movies back then that we looked at, right? Look at the Robot 5, for instance, and you look at RoboCop, you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that. Yeah. We were watching these movies in the 80s and 90s, and if you look at the world where we live in now, mate, it's kind of scary in a way, right? True. Because China now has got robots, police, and dogs patrolling. The UK government was there 2 months ago just to see what China is doing in terms of their AI technology, and they were impressed. But
do you know, in China, if you go to a hotel and you order Uber Eats, or you order some food, might not be Uber there, might be something else, and what happens is a little robot goes to the front of the hotel, greets the car or the delivery mechanism, picks up your stuff, goes in the lift, goes to your door, presses the button and says, "Here is your food." Like, it's crazy what goes on over there.
That's my film studio out at Oran Park. Now, that is a great achievement for the Western Sydney area, and we are so proud the fact that the government's actually listening to our community and our constituents, and also supporting the creative industry as well. Now, I guess the three of us, we are in the creative industry, so I guess in many ways that's going to create more jobs for the industry, and that's a good thing. So in one word though, Anne, what's your thoughts about the government, I guess, buying land and building a studio out in Oran Park? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic thing because obviously, like growing up out this way, there weren't a lot of opportunities to, go out and make art, right? And art comes in so many different forms, like art could be, making a film, it could be running a radio show, it could be, making a short film, it could be singing, it could be anything, right? Yeah. And when you don't have the facilities around you to actually do that, you're going to do it in your bedroom.
Correct.
And that causes problems at home, right? If you live in a small place, your mom's like, turn it off, or your dad's like, shut the door, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, having something like that out here, for the next generation, they know where they can turn to. You know, like, you're not, you know, if you're, say you really like, you know, to go to the beach and stuff, but you live an hour and a half away, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you know, maybe go to the studio and, you know, release your, I don't know, your creativity in there instead, right?
No, it's definitely right.
It's definitely a good thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of creators are actually going off overseas, like to LA and Hollywood,
Correct.
you know? I mean,
The opportunities are
we
over
have
there,
the land here.
Because that's right. Over the years, we have lost so many talent people here overseas, and it's really good to see that our government now are recognizing us Aussies. We do have a talent, and we should nurture this talent. And what can we do to nurture this talent? And this is something that I've been championing for such a long time.
We have.
You know, and it's very good to see this happening as well. So, look, at the end of the day, it's good news for the Western Sydney. It's good news for the creative industry, and above all, you know, we are super excited.
I've got to say, right, like the amount of creatives that have come onto the film from Western Sydney, it amazed me because the cast was so big, right?
Yeah.
And it just made me realise the power of community, right?
Yes,
and it also made me realise the power of, you know, getting together and really pushing to make your dreams come true. And especially, you know, making Australian film, like Maria Tran and Takashi Hara, you know, our Australian film industry.
Yeah.
To be honest, we're only about 25 to 30 million people, right? Like, that's our population, right? So our audience is quite small. But when you know, make a film that you distribute online, right, it suddenly opens you up to a massive audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And the biggest part is promoting it and getting that out there too.
Yeah, that's why.
But let's talk about, because you wrapped up filming for 5 by 5, right? So what was the most exciting or challenging part of playing your character, Chow?
I think the most challenging part was actually digging deep into the character and staying in it for a really long time in the process up to the filming. So I started getting into character in November last year.
Yeah.
And, you know, doing little things like, you know, how Fari was mentioning, you know, your clothing, your outfits, your music, your surroundings, and really digging deep into you to find different parts of you that align with the character. And that takes a lot of emotional work as well. Mental work, emotional work. So I think that was probably the most difficult thing.
So is that the reason why you rock up in the studio, give me attitude sometimes? So you in character,
I haven't
right?
left.
You haven't left. That should be a new character. That's you.
You know, a lot of people say, right, like it's the unbecoming of the character that's the hardest. Getting into it's great, right? But when you leave
Really? No, I actually am going to debate on that one because studying acting, there are different methods of acting, and there is a method called Meisner, which I've been learning.
I've done Meisner.
Where you get into character, but then you get off character. So it's not, even though, just say for example, that character's got an ego.
Yeah.
When you get off stage, their ego stays on stage.
Correct.
You don't carry it home, and you don't
correct.
want to carry that home because that's emotional baggage that you don't want your family to deal
But I think that's harder to like do than it is. Like in theory, right? Because you're absorbed.
No, it can be done because it is.
It's a mindset shift.
So share some strategies though, because I feel like I'm still in character.
Oh, you're still in character.
Chow.
Okay.
Chow's gonna kick us now.
I mean, not every day of the week, right? But occasionally, some moments will still put me in the character.
You better learn that Fari hug.
Come here, give you a hug.
The Fari hug.
No, the Meisner technique, which I'm not going to go deep, but if you undertake that method in itself, you learn in becoming that character. There are techniques, and it does take practice, but you can become the character through that technique, and then you can unbecome once you get off. There's preparation work, there's a journey, understanding your character, but also once you're done, that's it. Because I went through a journey where people taught me, you know, understanding who you are, correct, understanding my trauma, okay, and using my trauma for that method. And I'm like, no, because that trauma is gone now. Like, I can't use that trauma again and again and again. I'm connecting with the newer, higher self of who I am. I'm not using the old past, because that old history of me, of the emotion that comes with it is depreciated over time. Like, I don't have any impact on it anymore.
But here's a question, right? To give you a perfect example, what you're talking about, Anne, is Heath Ledger, right? In Batman.
Exactly.
Correct. So that guy, through life, mentally, he's so bloody disturbed, right? It got to the point where he got that main role as a Joker. He need to go and relive that. And he did such a damn good job that he killed him in the end.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I mean?
he did,
Correct, he kept his character.
He kept his character. Which
Yeah, he
you
didn't
don't-
leave it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, I did study Meisner as well, but what I found was when I read through how, you know, Heath Ledger did it, like, he kept journals of, you know, like, the Joker and everything, and he just became completely obsessed.
Yeah.
But that was coupled with his sleeping problems as well.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
and many other things.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, I feel like, you know, it's the songs that tend to trigger me. It's not so much like my day to day. It's music, because I use a lot of songs to help me get in.
Yeah.
And so if I hear those songs again, just
It will trigger you?
it'll trigger you, right?
That's correct.
So it's almost like you need to find a way to disassociate yourself from that
Yeah.
song, right? A lot of
Correct.
this stuff is so abstract.
What's interesting also, music can actually play a big part into your mindset, right? And also the clothes. So usually what they call the power of the ring, right? Or whatever that triggers you off. So for argument's sake, if you were going to play a psychotic, right? Generally speaking, there's something that will trigger you. And the professionals do this a lot, right? So let's say you play a bloody homeless, and then next minute you become a psycho. So what they do then is these actors will then go out into the laneway and they put the clothes on and they be there for 1 or 2 days playing that role. That's why they're so good at it. And then when they see the bin or when they see their clothes, it just kind of triggers their mind to go into that role play straight away. And once they take the shirt off, they're back to normal. So there's things that you can actually associate with your role. And a lot of people, and professional Hollywood people that do that. And I think it works fabulously, but you're right. There's a point where you need to stop and say, okay, this is filming, this is real life.
Reality, yeah.
This is reality check.
You know, I think the easiest way to snap out of it also is go to Woolies or go somewhere where there's a long line.
Yeah.
And then you look around you and then you see like an egg and then you go, what the heck? I'm moving. I'm back to where I was meant to be, right?
It's being aware. It's where your attention
Yes,
is as
that's
well.
right.
It's like you have to really ground yourself. But yeah, you got to do whatever it is.
Yes.
Have habits to get you out of that.
Correct.
And go. And even like sitting in the car and just playing your old music that is you.
Yeah, so
Maybe
funny.
that might help.
Yeah, funny you talk about music because leading up to the film dates, right? I didn't listen to anything but songs for the movie.
Yeah.
And then literally the day after, I just put on, I don't know, like some Katy Perry pop song.
Katy Perry. So, Darren, so at the end of the day, do you like Katy Perry, or do you think
I don't know enough about Katy Perry.
No?
She's cute, but I don't know enough about her music.
Because apparently she's here touring, and then she was shopping at Lickham a few days ago. And is this a fictional, or is this like...
It's fictional.
It's fictional, okay. So it's not about her life and all that. So
Actually, it
I'm just
was,
thinking
right?
about her life. But you never know. Some people do, you know. They're right,
exactly.
you know.
No, it's fictional, yeah.
And from your experience with a lot of these characters that's on set, what was one thing you take away? Were they all very passionate about this industry?
I think they definitely were very, very passionate about the industry. I think the action, the martial arts industry, and showing their skill sets on the actual set. So yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Would you take up another role that has martial arts skills in it?
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go extreme, like, you know, like full on head flip and everything.
Why not?
You know, I have a fear of like falling over. You know, we were talking about fear before, right?
Preparation.
Yeah.
So, like, I can do like the low level stuff, but I feel like once you get to intermediate and, you know, the harder things, because I was in training for a couple of months, right? But like, I feel like I have a fear of, you know, rolling over.
So
I don't know what it is.
So you've watched John Wick?
Yeah,
Yes.
John Wick. That is so good. Yeah.
Keanu
Fantastic.
Reeves didn't, I don't believe he had any martial arts skills, and he was trained for that. And you can tell he's a beginner. And then when you watch number 2, number 3, he's gotten better and better.
Of course. They do have martial art trainers who train him,
Yeah,
especially
they do,
John
they
Wick.
do,
Like, he's the main cast, so they would train him.
Absolutely, but you can tell he wasn't as strong in the beginning, but he's fantastic now. So it does takes practice.
Takes practice,
Yeah, but I look at Anne, I'm thinking, no, not martial. I look at Anne, it should be more like kind of lifestyle.
A little drama queen.
Yeah, like beauty queen, shopping, you know, kind of thing.
Hey, I'm pretty deadly, hey?
I know, dead with that shopping. So look,
no, tell us about your character, Chell, though.
yeah.
Yes, so the plot is under wraps, but what I can say was I played an assassin,
Okay.
right? And I think, you know, trying to be an assassin when you're not one is Right, so I had to take myself into a whole nother world, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching all these, like Mendez's brothers, and all these different series, and you think, oh wow, like I wonder what the hell goes on in their heads, right?
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time just thinking about, what these people were doing, and it was a little twisted in a way, right? They were like, some days I sort of thought, oh, I just want to go back and, play a bit of golf and just relax for a bit, But yes, you're right. It does take practice to go snap in and out of your characters.
Yes, that's right. And look, the end of the day, you're only as good as your team, right? And this is something a lot of people don't understand on a film set. It's like everyone plays their role. Was there anyone on set that was constantly...
She's not going to
No, you don't have to mention name. You don't have to mention name, but there's constantly stuffing it up, the script, the line, or it just makes the whole production longer than it's worth.
I don't think anyone was actually stuffing up so much. It was more so, it's like there's a lot of nerves on set, right? And like we were talking about before, you need to learn to either A, work through your nerves, or B, as Fari said, sort of hide it, right? And for me, I'm sort of the person that just works through the nerves.
Okay.
So, if I'm nervous, I'll probably say, yes, I am nervous, but then I'll always remember to breathe, right? And, it comes with a lot of...
Thank God you're breathing.
I'm a breather, right? Yeah. So, like, if I ever feel nervous about something, I'll take a couple of deep breaths and all that. And, like, Pilates really helps, right? I'll do things like that to help. So I think, to answer your question, Davy, it was more so that I could see, like, some people got nervous, and it's very normal.
Yeah,
You've been put in the spotlight.
Correct. And I think golf should help you with your arm swings too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Especially when I had to do, a few side hooks.
Correct. So golf would help you as well with your arms. Oh, no, that's amazing. It's amazing. So I know Marie trained for a long time, and look, she's very passionate at what she do, and look, she's been doing this for the last 20-something years since I've known her. So she's passionate about this, and also she's creating a tribe, and you guys are bringing on board on a tribe. So good on Maria Tran, good on you. Hopefully that this brings success as well for you. But I do know it's a lot of challenges, a lot of endless night. Now it's editing.
Long hours, yes.
Editing's going to be another 6 months. Yeah, it's crazy.
Editing another 6 months, you think?
Editing's crazy.
Yeah.
Editing's
you've
crazy.
got to get the best shot of the best shot.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So how long's your day when it comes down to filming, though?
Oh, it depends, right? Depends on when you start, when you finish. We had a lot of overnighters. A couple of times when I was resting, I was asleep on set as well. So I'd say anywhere between 8 to 12 hours.
Okay, they're quite long.
So, Darren, can you imagine being on a film set with Anne and Fool? I don't think anything will bloody get done, mate. All they do is talk, and trying to be an assassin. How can you be an assassin when you have those two shabby chicks walking in, all dressed up, and trying to do some martial art moves in latex and high heels? I can't imagine them to be the assassin, but what? Because maybe I know them for such a long time.
Assassins.
I know, it's crazy. So if you were going to be in a movie, right? Who would be your character, and why would you choose a character, mate?
Wow, I would say it'd have to be a deep character because I'm quite a deep guy.
Yeah, are you kind of a deep, soft kind of guy?
Soft guy, like
okay. So you're not like an action hero like me.
I'm definitely no John Wick.
No, okay.
I'm no Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So I can imagine you similar to like Forrest Gump on a couch with your box of chocolate. You're crying over that because like one of them's missing, maybe. Is that right?
That works.
And then John Wick, like myself, come up and say,
"That's right.
Shape up, mate. What are you bloody crying for, right?"
Beating me up because I'm crying about my chocolates.
That's it. But joke aside, though, who will be your character?
Someone that's just got an interesting story that I'd have to tap into, and I'm a bit introverted, so I just have to go into that character. But I've never really tried to be an actor. I never know if I would be any good. But maybe one day. One day I'll bring you on set, and we can and try and give you something nice. You never know. But I tell you, it doesn't sound too glamorous being on set for 12 hours in your trailer.
Well, that's the thing, though. Everyone watch a movie, right? And everyone watch a TV commercial. I do love TV commercials, why, right? And like you watch TV, it's like 30 seconds, and everyone's thinking, wow, that 30 seconds took us maybe a week or 2 weeks to produce that. And the editing, the amount of stuff we cut out to produce that 30 seconds, ridiculous,
and
right?
Waiting for the right weather conditions, the lighting conditions. This didn't work, do it again.
I know, it's ridiculous. But,